Once I walked into Lima, well, that was it for crossing the border of Montana. Like, normally you're still on trail, kind of on the border, but this road walking detour goes around Darby, and so there was no like epic, welcome to Montana moment necessarily, just really walking the service road into Lima, I guess. So kind of bummed out by that, but it's just part of the adventure, and you gotta roll with the punches, and sometimes things don't necessarily go how you hope they will, but it's still okay, and I have still crossed from Idaho into Montana, and I'm still heading to Canada. This one's not even. I didn't use it.
Have you done this before?
No, this is not Gux. I don't know how to do this.
Hold on, let me zoom in.
Yeah.
Damn it, it's not working.
Last night we sat and looked at some maps, kind of created a route to get around the two closures, and we'll be going through BLM land and National Forest land instead of just walking the service road, so that way we're not just like on pavement the whole time. It probably will be some paved roads, some dirt roads, but this will also route us through Elkhorn Hot Springs and up through the Beaverhead Deer Lodge National Forest. So hopefully we'll still be kind of in the woods-ish or wilderness-ish instead of just being on the service road all the way up near Butte, where hopefully somewhere in that area we will reconnect with the CDT. I have a new Gilligan hat. These hats tend to shade my face better, and knowing that a lot of this stretch is going to be some form of road walk, it just helps better protect from the sun. And also I got a new pair of Ultras in. I went with the Ultra Lone Peak 4.0s this time. I heard that the issue with the 3.5s being a little bit smaller, that is no longer an issue with the 4.0s, so I decided to give them a whirl. And I gotta put on my lock laces tonight, but so far from what I felt in just like this first maybe mile, they feel pretty good. It was important though for me to make sure that I would have plenty of room in the toe box, especially with having to get my toenails cut out. So I think having that extra wiggle room is going to be pretty important. The toes are kind of painful, but got some ibuprofen and got them all wrapped up, hoping to pat them a little bit. And now Perk and I are going to race to see who gets to the campground first. But he definitely has an advantage over me right now. Tonight for dinner, I am having spaghetti with some red wine, compliments of Perk.
I think it's called Sketty.
Sketty.
Or Sketty.
I am really glad that Perk decided to, hang out and kind of wait up for me. We've had a lot to catch up about, and it feels right to finish with my friend who is also earning his Triple Crown. So I'm pretty excited that we're gonna finish out this last stretch together. After leaving the campground we stayed at last night, we are on a dirt road now through the National Forest. And Perk and I were laughing because this is the forest. It's like the national desert lands. This is exciting though, because there's no gut hook track to tell us, exactly what's coming up. And while that is definitely convenient for the majority of the trip, it is more adventurous to me to kind of do these create your own route adventures and have to pay attention more to, where we turn next, and I don't know, just fun. I'll get you my pretty and your little dog too.
Oh, well, and we're out of the lane.
You're gonna get hit.
Yeah, we don't.
Woohoo! We're like actually getting into a national forest, in the national forest. Woohoo! The hot springs we've been waiting for. I'm just glad that this alternate we decided to take around the fire closures has been through some public lands, and although we've gone through little bits of civilization along the way, for the most part we've been in a national forest and been camping at, you know, legitimate like national forest campgrounds, and still been in the wilderness as much as we really can on a road walk. I am happy to report that my toes are healing up pretty well. Today is going to be like a 30 to 31 mile day, and not wrapping them today. They've been fine. I did clean them off at lunch and put some Neosporin on them, but figured it'd be good to kind of let them air out all day and just kind of see how they did, and they did just fine. I noticed today when I knelt down to collect some water, I was waiting for that pain when I got back up of my toenails, you know, digging into the flesh of my toe, and it never came. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, that had become like a norm that I expected, and it didn't happen because, well, they're not there anymore to dig in. And I'm pretty happy with how fast they're healing up and the reduction of pain instead of the increase of it, long term anyway. These are the lights of Wise River. We night hiked, but we whooped our 30-mile goal for the day.
My pack. It's extra sharp cheddar. I don't know if you like that. I don't. I've never seen this in a female dog. Anyway.
So now we are Anaconda bound, and Anaconda is the town in which the official CDT alternate, the Anaconda cutoff, goes through. And most northbound CDT through hikers take that cutoff. So it's more or less like we're connecting with the official trail there. And then we'll have about a little over 20 miles of some road walking where we will reconnect with the official CDT. I am very confused because I pulled out my drink and I'd put like a noon little drink mix tablet in here earlier. And I was like, I could have sworn that it was pink. I'm pretty sure it was. Am I losing my mind? So I gave one to Perk just to make sure. And
distinctly pink.
It's pink. It's definitely pink. And so I don't know if after it warms up, it finally, you know, changes color, or why it suddenly changes. I mean, the water should be the same temperature. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. I guess we should look at what time it is and see if you don't drink all of yours. Yeah.
I won't. For science, okay. I will.
Yeah.
Put this in reserve.
Yeah. These are the, you know, experiments that you can do along the way to.
Plastic type? Like, is that triangle? I've got number 1.
Mine is number 1.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
What?
Made a little way up. Coming through. Moo. Move. I'm just kidding. I'm not being ugly. Perk set this over there and
in the sun.
in the sun. It must have something to do with it getting hot then.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. Cheers. Alright, this is the last of the road walk on the Anaconda cutoff, and now after several days of road walking, here is the trail. We've been on roads for over 100 miles now. It's been closer to like 150, I think. So it's actually pretty nice to be back on official trail, and I'm excited to be kind of in the middle of nowhere with no traffic sounds or anything like that in my tent tonight. I don't know. Perk and I were figuring it up the other day, and I think from here we have about 415 miles or so to Canada, and that's just crazy to have less than 500. And luckily, for at least the next like 8 or 9 days for the town of Anaconda, the weather there, it looked either completely sunny or partly cloudy, or some days just cloudy, but with nice temperatures. So I'm hoping for at least the next 2 weeks it'll hold out and be really nice. And I mean, obviously I'm hoping until we get there it's really nice, but I know that that's probably not likely. I'm figuring in the last week or so we'll probably get some precipitation, but hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully, you know, it's just great until the end. But if not, as little misery as possible will be great. I never thought I'd say this in my life, but after all that flat terrain, it kind of feels good to be climbing this little hill. Not real steep, but a lot steeper than the roads we've been on, and yeah, it feels good to work those muscles. I've seen gates and drive over cattle guards. Never quite seen something like this. Seems like a thru-hiker trap. Boom shakalaka. Well, it's been about a week and a half since that rain and snow, and you can tell the smoke levels are high again. This red light always just I don't know, it's so creepy. But anyway, I am back in the trees in the woods. Well, it's kind of an open-ish spot where I'm at, but there are trees around, and I hiked a lot in trees today. And Perk has been ahead all day. Basically, when we got to the official CDT, he tore out like a turkey in the corn. I think now I'm just about 2 to 3 miles behind him. And if I know him, he'll be taking his time with his coffee in the morning. But anyhow, it feels really good to be back on trail. And this is the first night I've camped alone in a long time. So that's kind of exciting too. You know, I mean, I'm in Grizz country, but I'm kind of over it mentally now, I think. And, you know, it is what it is, and hopefully I'll get to enjoy another night in the wilderness without getting eaten by a bear. But, you know, I guess we all got to go out somehow. But I just crossed over the 400 miles to go mark, so I think it's like 396 miles to go now or something to that effect. But the most important thing to note about tonight is I put my nighttime socks on and I didn't wash my feet, like, at all. Just the dust and dirt, and I slid them right into the socks because this is the first night that I haven't, like, made a point to clean my toes. And normally, without my toes even being hurt, I'll use baby wipes and kind of wash my feet off and stuff like that. But I've had to do so much tending to those darn toes and wash them with soap and water and putting Neosporin and wrapping and just coddling them. So tonight I said, dadgummit, I'm not doing anything, and I'm just gonna let the dirt soak in them. But they are pretty much all healed up, so it's okay. But yeah, I was just like, I'll start taking care of my feet again tomorrow. Tonight, I'm just gonna let them be just grody. I'm awake. Ooh, those clouds look pretty. Well, here is the view from Lightning Bolt Lookout, and Perk has brewed us some coffee so kindly. Cheers. And you know, I'm gonna get to Canada one of these days. Doing a little night hacking tonight. I don't mind not hacking so much in this section, but I tell you, once I get to the Bob Marshall, I'm just gonna have to do my miles during the day, and gonna have to get a little bit better at getting up and getting out early. You know, I've been saying that since the AT. I should probably just quit lying to myself. Oh my gosh, my first porcupine on trail. Yes! Yay! Bye, guy! That is so cool. Yeah, we took that little break earlier today, drank some coffee, and, you know, did an extra half a mile round trip and took an extra hour over break. I don't know, I guess, you know, part of me knows that I really need to push it to get to Canada, and that really we've been really fortunate with the good weather so far. But I reckon the other part of me knows that it's coming to a close, and it's really kind of bittersweet. I wish that we could have like another 2 months of summer. I mean, I guess doesn't everybody, but I don't know. So, you know, I don't mind taking a few more views in and taking my time a little bit more during the day, but it does definitely mean at this point that I have to get used to the idea of doing a little night hiking to make up for it. And that's what it takes to complete a through hike, you know. You just gotta push through, and no matter what it takes, you just make it happen.